Restoring Men in History. It's a Wonderful Life. Do you have a wonderful life? Would you like to have a wonderful life? How would you have that? We're going to take lessons from It's a Wonderful Life and see how you can apply it in your life to enrich your life and make it better. We start out with George Bailey. He's the central hero of the film, but his wife is a great heroine as well. Now listen, you can make your life better, and we want you to have it better. We want it to be as fantastic as it can be, and here's how you do it. George Bailey, at the beginning of the film, wants to commit suicide. Why does he want to commit suicide? Well, he wants to commit suicide because he believes he's simply worth more dead than alive. He's just had a discussion with Potter, and it's the one person he went to help for. But he's been helping everyone all through the film, and Mary's been praying at home. She doesn't know where George is, and she loves her husband magnificently, and she's just a terrific wife, the perfect wife, actually. And we don't know if that's because of this, God sends an angel, but God sends an angel, and the angel goes to talk to these two other angels. And the angel gets to review George's life. And guess what we find out? What's George been doing with his life? Helping people, building community, making friendships. Really, these are success steps to life, and I'm going to tell you why. Here we go. He goes back and finds out that when George was young, he was a boy, and his little brother was a boy. George's brother falls in the ice while they're playing. George unhesitantly goes in and gets him. Courage. George has the virtue of courage. He risked his own life too. He has sacrifice. Damaged his ear for the rest of his life. He can't barely hear out of it at all. Now, what's that mean? We know he's already helping from the beginning, even before he meets Mary. He's a married man of virtue. Here's the other thing. He then takes him around. He sees he's working as a kid with an old man Gower, who's a druggist. What does he do? Old man Gower gives him the wrong prescription, but George stands up again. That takes courage and doesn't deliver it. And he tells him, I'm sorry, you put poison in it. Old man Gower hits him, but George isn't resentful, and he doesn't hold grudges against old man Potter. He keeps it a secret, keeps it to himself. We find out that if George wasn't around, the little brother would have died. And it has more ramifications than that. In your life, you can have an impact. You can make a difference. And there's a ripple effect. But here's what happened when he wasn't there at the drugstore for the old man Gower. Gower goes to jail, prison, and then it becomes a drunk because he killed that person. And he felt badly about it. He had remorse, massive remorse, ruined his life. His little brother wasn't there, and we find out later because his little brother wasn't there, a group of soldiers die as well because George's little brother wasn't there to save him. You see how this works? One man. But he thinks his life has no meaning. He's missed his dreams. He's missed going on trips. What did George want to do? His dreams were to leave this small little town, Bedford Falls, and go in the world and make a name for himself, build great things, lasso the moon, and travel. Get a big suitcase at one point in the film, and he wants to travel around. Old man Gower gives it to him, by the way. Kindness. George is a kind man. By the way, Mary's kind and sweet and selfless. I want to make sure we get the two characters. And by the way, he's married, he has children, he has a home, he has the building alone. We go through his life, and what has he done with most of his life? He's been helping people. In fact, without him, we see that the town would have turned into Pottersville. That old man Potter would have owned the hometown. People wouldn't have been able to build homes, and they would have just been drinking and having fun, and really no community and no connection. That's what we find out, that without George in it, the whole town's a disaster. In fact, in the middle of the story, we see Mary and George at a home, giving the champagne, having a housewarming for the Martinis who move in. They've built a home. The American dream is to buy a home for many. And George Bailey has been giving the American dream to people in the community where they can own their home and have a stake in the community. Now, all through the film, George has sacrificed his dreams. His little brother gets to go off to college while he runs the building alone, even though George is the big brother. So the little brother gets advantage, and then the little brother becomes a hero. It seems like George is getting no accolades and not moving forward in life, and that everybody, Sam Ray Ryan and everybody else, is moving forward. Have you ever felt that way, where everybody else is moving forward, but you're not? That's the way George feels. Feels he's missing every trip, every part of good life. He thinks that's the good life out there. Now, when they are getting ready to go on the honeymoon, they're in a taxi and they're leaving. But someone runs up and there's a big line at the bank. Something's going on. George wants to find out. Mary says, don't go. Here's how couples can make each other better and enrich each other. Mary says, don't go, let's go. He goes. And he's trying to deal with it. What it is it's depression. There's a run on all the banks and the building alone. Everybody wants their money out. They don't have enough money to give them. He says, your money's in this house and your money's in this house, because they've been loaning out to build the community, prevent Pottersville. Potter owns everything else. Well, as he's standing there, and this is a magnificent scene, his wife, Mary, an angel, raises her hand with money. And she says, here it is. We've got this. He says, we got $2,000. So he starts giving out the money. So then he works all day, right? He's gone out in the world. What has happened? She could be upset. She could be angry, but she's not. You know what she's done? He gets a call. Mrs. Bailey's waiting for you. And guess what? She's taken an old home that she's loved always and fixed it up, made it like a hotel with the taxi driver and the police guy, Ernie and Bert. And what has she done? She's fixed it all up so they can still have a honeymoon. Now, how many people can do that? And I think this is a life lesson, right? The depression was bad. They were running on his business. Potter would have owned everything. So they could be upset and say, we missed our honeymoon. This is terrible. This is awful. But Mary makes the best of it. And while he's out helping the community, making sure the building and loan stays out, she's at that old home, fixing it up, making it look like a honeymoon. And that's the beauty of men and women. He's thinking about business. He's thinking about the community. She's thinking about home, and see how well it goes together. You can find the right woman and the girl can find the right man with similar values and virtues. Look where it can go. She enriches him and makes him happier. He makes her happier because she loves him so much. There's true love there. By the way, what prevents him from committing suicide? The angel knows him by the time he's reviewed his life. And as George is getting ready to jump off the bridge, the angel jumps in, and guess what? George just aborts his plan to kill himself and jumps in to save the angel. You see, he's always, even at the end, trying to help others. There's so many good scenes. We're not going to do them all. I just wanted to take a few life lessons from It's a Wonderful Life so you can have a wonderful life. And that's why we're doing this. So you can have an impact and make a difference. Now, at the end of the film, we're going to cut to the end. And by the way, he stops and helps Violet to go to New York and gives her money. And what has happened at the bank at the end of the film, his uncle has made a mistake and lost money, about $8,000. And they have to make up for it, or he'll go to jail, prison. And that's another reason that he's going to commit suicide. He believes they're going to lose everything and Mary won't be able to survive, thinking of others. So he sees from the angel's perspective everything that would have happened had he not been born. Would you like that opportunity? You may be having an impact today. If you aren't, let's get to it, right? Because we want to have an impact and make a difference. So here's some life lessons that you learn. One of the biggest takeaways is taking one man out of the community. And I would argue if you took Mary out of the community, because what does she do? She builds the home so he can go out in the community. But the angel says this, strange, isn't it? Each man's life touches so many others. When he isn't around, he leaves an awful hole, doesn't he? So see, you could leave a hole. You can have an impact. You can make a difference by being kind, by just saying someone's name, by doing something this Christmas. You know, there's going to be a lot of lonely people all year long, so you can do it next year and all the way, because people don't have a lot of friends now, and they don't talk, and you need friends. You could say or listen to someone for 15, 20 minutes and maybe change their life. I know, because I've been told that sitting in cigar bars, and people have thanked me for listening and talking to them. And they said, talking to you made me feel much better. You can do that too, by listening intently and caring, genuinely listening and caring about the other person. But anyway, George Bailey has had an impact on this whole community. And see, he thinks his life has meant nothing. He thinks he's accomplished nothing. But in actuality, without George, the town has become Pottersville, owned everything by Potter. No one can buy a home. Everybody rents. Everybody starts drinking. The whole town's gone down. It's changed. There is no community. With George, there's a community. Martini's it's called another bar now where people just go drink. They used to have camaraderie there and have fellowship and friendship at Martini's. Martini's had a house too. That was the one he opened up. Another thing the angel said is, George, you really have had a wonderful life. Don't you see what a mistake it would be to throw it away? You see, now he's learned that he's had a meaningful impact on the society. And like I said, you can do that with a kind word, with calling somebody their name, with listening for 15 minutes. And then another thing the angel says that I loved, But we'll get to that. But at the end, a great heroine. George has only gone to Potter for help. He didn't actually even misplace the money. But again, even in this moment of depression and ready to commit suicide, he doesn't blame his uncle. He takes the blame when he goes to Potter's office. How many people would do that? And by the way, early in the film, he has an offer from Potter, $20,000 a year. He only makes $45 a week. He makes $45 a week, and he turns down $20,000 a year for a 3-year contract. Why? Because he knows Potter will own it all, and nobody will own homes, and the whole town will go down. So he has fought for this town all his life. That's a great man. George Bailey is a great man. Mary Bailey is a great wife and woman and a heroine. But anyway, he's only asked one person for help. But you know who asked for help? And this is how men and women complement each other. Mary tells the town George is in trouble. And there's an ending at the film. And George comes back. He wishes to be back, finally, because he's seen what life is like without him, and the whole town's gone down. One man leaving the town, and it's all gone down. And you can be a George Bailey. You can be a Mary Bailey. She's built a great home. What has she accomplished? Well, if a woman builds a great home, it gives the man peace, and he can go out in the world and conquer it, right? And she's done that for him. He can go out and help others, right? A lot of women like to build a great home and stay home and have peace. She gave him peace at home. He came home to a magnificent home so he could go out in the world and conquer it and help people. Not just conquer it, help people. If he wanted to just conquer it, he would have taken the money from Potter, right? He wants to really have an impact, make a difference, and help others. Help others have their dreams. Can we do that? Can we help others have their dreams? Now, at the end of the film, he comes back, and Mary has brought and told the town that he needs help. And guess what happens? Everybody in that town has come forward with money. And they raise all this money, and he gets a wire from Sam Rainwright, and his brother comes in and toasts him, and he says to George, the richest man in town. So how do you measure riches, and how do you measure a wonderful life? Friendship, right? Aristotle talked about it. We talk about it. And he looks down. He's surrounded by love of the community and the friends. And these are people he's helped all his life. Potter said they wouldn't, but they do. They all come through. They're all putting money in. Even the bank examiner puts in money, and the sheriff that's supposed to arrest him. The whole town's coming together because he helped build this town. And he looks down. The angels left him a book with an inscription. It says, "Remember, George, no man is a failure who has friends." So think of others, listen to others, and help your friends with their dreams. If the world had more George and Marys, it would be better. So you may think you've missed your life and your dreams or whatever, but you can have an impact today by just helping others. Now, there's one thing in this movie that I want to point out. Men and women can complement each other. If you pick a girl with the right values and virtues, and she picks a guy with the right values and virtues, and you match up, you can really enrich and complement each other. And you can be greater together. And I know there's a lot of attacks on men and women. How great. Look, there's great men, there's great women. And they can create beautiful relationships and have love. But there's one thing you didn't focus on that Mary did. Mary was always happy. Mary went for help. So they really complement each other, because as a man, he probably didn't want to go for help. He didn't think they would help, right? But she asked the town for help. And you know what she had that George didn't have? And here's a life lesson. We've put this in multiple videos, and I think it's important at Christmas. If you're lonely, if you're sad, if you're depressed, if you don't have family, or you just don't get along with your family, or life's just not going well, you've been fired, or whatever's happened in your life, you have no money, it's possible. You've lost great deals. I don't know what it is. You've lost your girlfriend. You've lost your wife. I don't know what it is. But I know what's helped me, and I tell the men all this all the time in the groups and everywhere and in the videos. What didn't George have that Mary had? And this is a great life lesson. Mary loved her life. She loved George. She had love. She really loved George. And you know what she was? Grateful. She had gratitude. So here's a life lesson. Write down 5 things you're grateful for every day. In the morning and night, if you have to. If you're down, do it 3 times a day. A roof over your head, whatever it is. A mom, a friend, a good friend that you talk to. I'm telling you, it might help someone. When I've lost a deal or something's gone awry, I write down 5 things I'm grateful for, sometimes morning and night. And it has helped me. Number 2, focus on what you have, not what you don't have. You can focus all the time. It's good to have goals and you can aspire to things, but don't get down on what you don't have and focus on what you have. And that's kind of part of gratitude. Focus on what you have, a roof over your head, your health, or whatever it is. You probably have some great things in your life, a friend. I don't know what it is, but put down 5 things a day that you're grateful for. We've said this before in videos. I think it's important to reiterate for the new year and for Christmas. 3, try to help people this Christmas. Get out of yourself and help people. Listen to them 15, 20 minutes and help others with their goals and their dreams and listen about their dreams and their goals. Your friends, make them better. That's what we're here for. First of all, also have friends. If you don't have friends, get on and make some. That's up to you. Deep, rich male friendships will make your life better, man. I guarantee you. Look, we just did all the Christmas dinners with the groups and the guys that we run. They enrich my life. They make me better. Oh, your male friends will also make you better, but that's not the reason to do it. You're supposed to make them better. You do it for them. You're always thinking about them, their goals, their wants. When we do a conference, I'm thinking, these guys going to like this, or these guys going to like this, or these. It's about them. What do they like? They want this, they want this. We got to get this for them. We got to make the guys happy. I do not want to disappoint the guys. Again, the right man and woman together can make the world better and can make your life better. Have a purpose larger than yourself. Have friends that you talk to, spend time with, and put energy into, and that you really talk to, that you get to know, that you build bonds and camaraderie with. Material possessions, I don't believe will do it. They can fade away, they can run away, you can lose them. Helping others will make your life more meaningful. It did for George, right? It did for Mary. Have a purpose larger than yourself. I think I said that. And I'm going to end with this. In the middle of the film, George had a great role model. George Bailey is a great role model for you men. Just add your gratitude. Mary Bailey is a great model for you women. She built a beautiful home, kept it peaceful, had the children developing well. She was just a magnificent woman. Loved George with all her heart. It was love of her life. His father told him something early in the story. All you can take with you is that which you've given away. All you can take with you is that which you've given away. So this Christmas, think about giving to your friends, helping your friends. What can you do to make someone's life better, or a stranger? Maybe making a stranger's life better. George did it all through the story. Mary did it. They were together at the housewarming. They were great individuals, and they made each other better. Your friends can make you better. Thank you.